I was blind, now I can see. You made a believer out of me. I was blind, now I can see.
Gentlemen, thanks very much for agreeing to meet me this evening. It's great to see you both. I know it's been a long time and in pretty strange circumstances, but it's probably been a couple of months now since I've last spoke to David and Dom. We've not seen each other for a wee while, so it's good to have you both here.
Excellent.
I know you've been busy, and I know we're here to talk all things Rossville, but first of all, I think there's a few congratulations. So David, congratulations on the birth of your son.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. It's been a busy house and a busy lockdown for me. Thank you.
So you've not had a minute to yourself? Changing
No,
nappies?
changing nappies, and obviously we've got a 3-year-old as well who's been keeping us busy. Prior to our second son Theo coming, I was trying to get players tied up, so that took. I'm glad I managed to get that tied up before he came along. So it's been a busy lockdown for myself, definitely.
Fantastic.
You have to get your priorities right, David, of course, you know.
And Dawn, congratulations to your daughter as well. I heard that she graduated. I know it's a shame she won't be able to have a graduation ceremony at the moment, but hopefully she'll be able to get something organised. But that's fantastic news.
No, it's 4 years of hard work and a lot of dedication and getting up a lot of stuff, as you rightly know yourself, Helen, know what I mean? So, no, we'll chuff her. And hopefully we'll get some things for her organised and get a wee celebration for her, know what I mean?
Brilliant, it's fantastic news. We've had a couple of months where I've not spoke to you guys, and for the majority of that time, obviously, it's been lockdown. But David, I was just wondering how, first of all, you guys have managed to use the time as a squad. Obviously, we've not been able to see each other face to face.
Yeah, well, I think since the last time I spoke to you, I think we were getting players in and we were getting everybody tied up. So obviously all the players have been announced on social media. We've managed to just communicate with the guys via WhatsApp chat, and we've managed to set a pre-season plan out whilst the guys are being locked down, and they've been sending us our 5Ks. We've been recording things on Strava. We tried to organise a Zoom call for Eddie to get some core work done, but it seems hard because at that point a lot of the guys were getting back to work and they were catching up on their works. We're wanting to work later. So no, we've just been sticking together, and we've not managed to meet up again, so we've just been doing like Zoom calls and just been communicating through social media and Strava. Basically, that's been the main thing for us.
Dom, obviously now that we're moving through the phases of lockdown and we're starting to obviously come out and be able to do a little bit more, but what's the club's plans to restart training, and is there anything that you guys have to make sure happens before the players and the staff and everyone in the committee can come back safely?
Yeah, well, the Western Scotland League, the fellas that run that have been excellent. They've kept us up to date in the last few months with some emails, and we've had some video chats with them, or Zoom chats. So they've been excellent for day one. And really, come the 20th of July, we'll be able to get some training done. Certain coaches with a certain amount of people, so our players rather, and obviously for ourselves as a committee, we need to make sure the protocols are put in place so we can make sure everything that the government is telling us to stick by, and the SFA, every team sticks by that. I mean, we've got to make sure hand sanitizer are there and spray bottle, all that sort of thing, individual things that the guys need. So we're ordered all this for the guys and make sure everything's there for them.
Fantastic. David, is there been any chat about, when the league and cup fixtures can begin to start again?
Not really 100%, but you hear the chat. I speak to Andy on a daily basis, and you hear the chat October. Friendlies could maybe start September, with the full training maybe starting middle of August to late August. So the guidelines have come out so far, and it's you can have 15 people from no more than 5 households. So you're probably looking at groups of 5, and that's with a coach. So we're starting. The coaches are talking nearly every day just about when we can start. We'll probably leave it a couple more weeks to let things settle. As Dom said, we've got materials been ordered, so as soon as they come, we can take them to the training field with us, and we can start to put things in place. And we'll have a COVID coordinator who'll coordinate everything from water bottles to balls. If things like that need cleaned and just make sure everything's done properly.
Dom, is this mean that, you know, if you're having friendlies or you're having fixtures and the league does start back up, what does this mean for fans that are, you know, might be coming to watch? Or is it something that we'll have to do behind closed doors?
I think initially, until the government and the SFA gave any indication that I'm looking to see it being initially the friendlies being behind closed doors. Any thoughts of having a league starting or a cup competition starting without supporters for any junior or senior clubs? That's no, you wouldn't be able to exist. You wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's just going to have to just wait until you get that opportunity to get some supporters. And even when it does happen, I think you might find it'll be a limited amount that'll be allowed in initially, just to see how things pan out in the first few months of the season.
I suppose it's probably been really difficult. You know, it's difficult for, you know, top end level football clubs without an income. But has it been a struggle in the last kind of 2-3 months, you know, income wise for the club? I
think the first few weeks in March when things all stopped, I don't think anybody knew how serious this was going to be. And then when you get into April time, you then get the picture that there won't be any football. But for us all to think it wasn't going to be until October, no, that certainly wasn't anybody's thoughts. But now it's absolutely it's terrible for bigger clubs. Never mind ourselves, and there's a lot of other clubs and it's played in the second division, first division. It's really, really hard, really tough. You know what I mean, to survive and keep going. There's clubs that own their own grounds. They've started got to pay insurance. They've started got to keep the upkeep of the parks. We obviously share with the Bens, so I get some information for them and what they have to do every month and the outcome or the outlay of that. So that never stops. Could be burst water mains, burst pipes, whatever, you name it. I've seen there's been a couple of fires, different clubs have had vandalism, absolutely shocking. So no income, how are you supposed to cover the cost of any repairs? And it could ruin junior football or senior football as now for a lot of clubs. So, but fingers crossed, everybody gets a chance to kick off when it comes.
You mentioned about ground shares and things. We've built up a really good relationship with Benburb at the moment, and obviously I think there was something out a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, about this is going to be where we play now for the foreseeable, which is fantastic. Is this now where we're going to be based, or is there any kind of drive to get back to Hunters Hill if they were able to make changes to the facilities that we need?
I think in an ideal world, I don't think anybody wanted to leave Hunters Hill because it was an excellent complex, but we all know the story behind it and the way it's set up. It's no built. It was never built for junior football, never mind senior football, which is a shame. Though a wee bit more foresight into the way it was all planned out might have helped, and it might have made things a wee bit easier if there was finances available to create certain things. But I don't see us going back to Hunters Hill. The Bens is ideal for what you need. We've agreed to stay there for the next few seasons, and we've also got a new development team, and they'll be playing there on a Friday night, ourselves on a Saturday, and the ladies' new team will be there on a Sunday. So we've also made arrangements for David and the guys. We feel it's important now that you should be training where you're playing. I think David it's something that he spoke about, him and Sean, a few times, and until the opportunity comes up, then we couldn't really do anything. But it's came up now, we've asked the question, and Ben Burber decided that that's we can accommodate us. So our amateurs and our development team and ourselves will be training there on the Tuesday night, and ourselves on the Thursday night.
That's fantastic, and actually to see how big the club has actually grown, even in the last few months, where you've got your development squad and your women's team, and Benburb's really going to be like a hub for Rossvale now. It's fantastic to see. Again,
we are a north of the city club, Bishop Biggs club based. Our academies are there and they're all playing there. There's talk of them possibly applying to take over a new complex over there and get something built for the academy teams first and foremost. and look after the kids there on the one sort of place. But we are where we are now, and we've got to just grab the bull by the horns and work with Benburb as close as we can and make it a great fortress for ourselves.
Hopefully that can maybe help increase the fan base a little bit in the Govan area. They can watch Rangers one day and then come and watch the Vale on the other.
Aye, listen, I think there's plenty of options for the locals now, because the Ben's obviously alternative Saturdays to herself, and then it'll be alternative Friday nights, because they've obviously created a new development team also, you know what I mean? So aye, and then you have the ladies team or the women's team on a Sunday, so great opportunity for us all to hopefully get some more people through the door, you know.
Right. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the first team, obviously, just now, and what you guys have been up to in the previous months. There's been a fair bit of speculation from out with the club regarding transfers and squads and things and players. So it's not been any secret, Dom, that at Rossvale we've worked really hard over the last few seasons to achieve success, and we've had success. We've experienced that. It's also no secret that a large proportion of the players that have left us this season were pivotal in the successes that we've had, but obviously they've moved on to pastures new. Can you divulge, any of the reasons why some of these boys left in the vast numbers, or any of the conversations that you had with some of these players?
I don't think, to be honest with you, we tend to at the Kivy, we tend to leave that to the coaches to organise and speak to the guys and see where their heads are at come the end of the season. Obviously, it wasn't ideal for anybody the way the season finished. We were sitting mid-table and we were still in the West of Scotland Cup. Hopefully to get through another couple of rounds of that would have been excellent for us. Again, great prestige for the club, that being in the Premier League, doing well in the West, and financially good for us also, you know what I mean? So certainly David and Sean done a great job since they came in. The guys who decided to leave felt that they had a better option elsewhere, whether it be football reasons, whether it be financial. Only they'll know that, and only time will tell whether that's better for them. Or I think a plus for David and Sean, as far as I'm concerned, is they now get an opportunity to. This is their team now. This is the way that they are going. He's laughing. So it can go either way. No, listen, it's these guys are delighted with the players that they brought in, and I'm fully behind what they're doing. We just leave them to go on with it. Don't get involved. Even though I'd like to stick the boots on now and again when I watch them. I'm sure David's the same. I've seen him some Saturdays. He's just about to kick the players at the side of the pitch now. I mean, the ball. It's never nice when people leave your club, because you get close to them. Their families come along to the games, and that's great also for us. You know what I mean? So you get a wee bond there with them, don't you? Know what I mean? And it's football. David will tell you, he's been there and back again.
But you must have had a good, few months in there working with these players, planning ahead for what was coming, and then the mass exit.
No, just on your comments, these things happen. Football's it's a ruthless dog-eat-dog business, and I've been around the game to see that myself. I've done it myself, to be honest. Sean as well. Sean's been in and around higher levels. Me, and he's seen it, how ruthless clubs are, and how ruthless players are. So, as I said, I spoke to every single player, and I says to them, it's no issue to me, them moving on. It is what it is. To you guys, probably more, because you built up that relationship with them. I built up a relationship with them, but at the end of the day, they were still a player for me. So, as soon as they moved, to be honest, I totally forgot about it. And I spoke to, I think, every single player in January, February time, and I put my cards on the table and I told them where we were at with them. The guys hummed and hawed, as every single person does. Some of the guys committed. The ones that I wanted to commit and asked them to commit, they committed. But the other ones obviously hummed and hawed, and I knew then that the writing was on the wall, that they were going to be going. As much as they were telling me they don't know, and they maybe were going to Rossvale, myself and Sean we know, we're a good judge of character and people, so we knew straight away who was going to stay and who wasn't going to stay, and we knew who we wanted to stay and who we didn't want to stay. So, as I said, it's a ruthless business, but it's something that needs to happen, and I felt, not just me and Sean felt, that it was time for that group, tight-knitted group people to go their separate ways. Some people we didn't maybe push as hard as we could have to sign. Some people obviously get reduced money. Some people would have loved to. Some of the ones that left, we would have liked them to stay. But at the end of the day, they're away, and it's just the way football is, to be honest. We had prepared in February probably for who we knew in February who was staying, who was going, to be honest, even though the phone calls didn't happen until April.
I've got to ask, because I think it's the question that's on everybody's lips. Is any surprise as to where most of these players ended up at Clydebank?
No.
I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked.
I knew about the interest for Clydebank. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there because they've got that relationship with the previous manager. It's fine. I'm not going to speak about any other club, but it is what it is. They're away. They're away to play their previous manager. Good luck to them. Shake their hand. Good luck to them. We'll see them next year. But if I've got anything to do with it, then we'll be a better team this year than we were last year. I can put my bottom dollar on that, to be honest. So I think we recruited well. And I'm going to just say this just to give him a wee nudge for the budget I've got. We recruited well because we are a close knit family committee with everybody. We've not got massive finances like other teams in the league. I'd probably say every other team in the league apart from us. That is what it is, and we managed to bring in really good potential players that I feel. I'm not just saying this because I need to. I honestly feel we've got a stronger squad this year than we did last year, and we've got stronger individuals.
Well, it brings me to my next question, which was the squad list is obviously being released this week, and there's a definite statement of intent there with the quality that you've brought in. I don't really have time to go through individual players. You're welcome to mention them. I wish we could, but you're welcome to mention anyone you feel. But are you happy with who you've got? And Dom, the same to you, or is there a little bit more movement coming in the next few weeks?
I hope Don's put a lottery on this week so they can get some more movement. There will be some more movement. There's no going to deny that. There will be. I'm looking for probably another 3 players. We've got 15 signed. I've got 4 or 5 coming in pre-season to let's have a look at them. They want to come back. Andy Johnson as well. He's coming back to.
That's good.
So he's been doing his own wee circuit trainings with Eddie over Zoom. So I've never ever seen Andy play. I've heard really good reports about him. So he could be like a new signing for us if he gets himself in a good shape. So we're in a good. We are still looking for another 2 or 3, but there's no rush because we're still 2 to 3 months away. The loan market will be good for us as well. I've already been in touch with certain clubs. It's a market we need to hack into because we're not got a massive budget. We need to go into it. So we were into it last year. We get a lot of good players, 3 good players for Dumbarton that we're really happy with. So we're going to hack into that. But I don't want to sit here and individually pick out certain people from my signings because it's not fair. Because we signed a lot of guys, and even I think the guys from last year, I could sit and pick out them as well. So I'm not going to single anybody out, but the squad as a whole collective bunch, I think it's good. The guys that stayed, they were a mainstay of the team, and I feel as if they played a big part last year. And you could trust these guys. I could put my hat on and I could trust them. And they've stayed and they've committed to me. And the guys I've brought in, they're all mixed. We've got some youth and we've got some experience as well. So I'm really looking forward to the season. Excited to go out there and train with the boys and see what they've got and see if I have made the right decision. So it's something I can't wait to get started.
It's great as well, Dom. They've got the under-20s, I think, development team. I know that some of the boys down there have played with us before, and there's some really good talent up and coming, which could filter into the squad probably quite nicely.
Yeah, and it was quite refreshing speaking to David and Sean when they first came in last year that they didn't want a big squad. I know he said he's going to add a few more on, which is fine. We'll speak about that later, young man. But the emphasis is the first team, but they always want to talk about development squad, under-19s, and try and get these young fellas, give them an opportunity in football. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's a great thing. Young fella Regan was involved last year quite a bit, the second half of the season, and he just left foot, right foot. Nothing seemed to phase the young fella. Not, I mean, it was nice to watch. So these guys have took that on board and invited him along, and ended up he's now signed for this season coming. I mean, so it shows the rest of these boys that there is an opportunity there. There is a pathway there to get in now. Senior football, the clubs wanting to progress through these divisions. Might take us a bit of time, but we've done it before, so we'll keep on aiming as high as we can. And for these young boys, there's a big opportunity there for them now.
And Dom, do you agree with the decisions that David and Sean have made? And is this the squad that's going to take us to the next level?
I don't know any of them at all. All kidding aside, look,
a trust game.
Look, there has to be a massive amount of trust in your coaches, and if you don't do that, then, and if they don't feel that either, coming for us as a committee, then it's never going to work. You know what I mean? So they trust us, we trust them fully. A young squad that he's now got there, with a small mixture of maybe older fellas, but still only guys in their 26, 27 years of age. So definitely, there's a lot to look forward to next season. It really, really is. I mean, it'd be excellent to see these guys in the coming weeks and months and how they're going to all gel together. We've done it before. This is nothing new. We've did this before and had to transform the whole squad and new coaches coming in. So I fully believe there's more success in the way for Rossvale.
Definitely sounds good, and definitely sounds like a season not to be missed. And I'm sure there's plenty of folks itching to get back out on a Saturday afternoon and get themselves along to the Benburb and have a watch. But what would you say to these guys? What can they expect if they do come along to support the Vale?
I think as normal, obviously Davey will maybe mention about the football side of things, but as a spectator, I mean, we don't get to see every bit of action because we're busy on a Saturday match day leading up to the game. But even more so now that we're moving into the senior side of things, we are looking to sort of run things more like a senior club, more business-like, always looking to progress and improve what we do each Saturday. So there'll be hospitality packages available for people to come along and get involved in that sort of thing, have a wee pie and a pint and that sort of idea, and get involved in some fundraising while they're there. So there's plenty of opportunities there, and also for new prospective sponsors also whoever may be out there want to get involved in a nice, lovely family club.
And David, what can we expect from the football side of things? I don't know, you maybe don't want to give too much away, but what can we expect to see?
Blood, sweat and tears will be gone for the 3 points. But no, not serious. No, I think if you were to ask MD if they came and watched us last year, they would say that every game I think was entertaining, no matter if it was a high scoring game or if it was a tight game with a wee bit of brilliance that won the game for us or the other team. But even your highlight games, the two against Auchinleck, I think every day in their dog would tell you that was two really, really good games. But no, we'll just be going out and we'll be going out to win every game. We've got a set style of play that we can play for each team, and we'll be working on that. That's our main body. We've got a good pressing team that we just want to do the right things. And mistakes are going to happen. Players are going to make mistakes, but that's why we're at this level. It's up to us to not get on at them as much, but to make things happen and better for these players. So progression's our main thing, with 3 points added into the bag.
And what's the end goal at the end of the season?
Staying in the league. 7 teams are down next year. So it's dead a lot. It's staying in the league. I think we need to start well. Like everybody else will say, they need to start well. But one thing that Sean and myself will be making sure is we'll be starting that season flying. We'll no excuses for the most part. And hopefully we can get a wee cup run. But obviously, I got asked the question about the Junior Cup. I'd like to stay in it. It's a good cup to win. I've won it twice, so that is a good cup to win. Is
that a bit of silverware that we've not yet managed to get our hands on, Dom? Junior Cup?
No. I think that we got to last 16. I think twice, 3 times. I think if we hadn't drawn Auchinleck, I think we would have definitely been in the last few rounds. Right? That was for sure, because the guys said they had the bit between their teeth at that point of the season, and it was just the way the luck of the draw is, isn't it? I mean, but listen, on that day, over 500 people turn up to Benburb on a freezing cold day to watch an exciting game. to take the lead kind of half time, and then two goals that just showed their class at the end of the day. So as David knows, they don't stop playing until the 96th minute, I think it was at one point. I mean, so they never stop. So just a machine. No, listen, but we're in there again. We'll be in the Scottish Junior Cup next year. We've entered it again. David will be happy to hear that. And then of course there's the I think it's the South of Scotland Cup, which is a similar thing, and you know your teams in all the divisions will be involved in that also. So it's a very similar cup again.
Well, listen, thanks very much to both of you for catching up with me tonight, and obviously those are the players that have departed the squad. We wish them the best of luck, and those of them that have come in. There's some big expectation on their shoulders, and some big expectation for you, David, as well, by the signs of it. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully the next time I catch up with you guys, it'll be face to face at the Bainbird.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
Just thank all the players for last year, and obviously the committee for everything they've done for us last year. It was a relatively good season we had, so and obviously it came in at abrupt end. Appreciate obviously the players and everything they've done to help the club stay on their feet. So hopefully see you all soon.
Yep.
Brilliant,
Football
fantastic.
back and going.